What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening to NIO, Tesla, SPY, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening with the economic calendar moving forward, what's going on with other factors involved in the markets, what the news is saying about NIO, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I begin into devil's information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. If you deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75 of them. And the offer ends very soon, in just 1 week. Anyways, for NIO, we got a very, very nice looking downtrend that's been established. And looking at the fact that we got a double top leg structure and an inverse cup and a handle is developing, the share price is favoring bears, more in my personal opinion. But it also depends if NIO loses its key support. So I want to talk about the overall market first before I break down the charts for SPY and the others in NIO. Let me first mention that tomorrow is going to be Tuesday, June 11th, 2024, at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 hours after the market ends up opening. We have the 42-day bill auction coming out and the 52-week bill auction also coming out. So we'll see what this causes for the markets. Expect some volatility then. But don't forget that for Wednesday, before the market opens, we have CPI coming out. So that's going to be very important. Not to mention the FOMC meeting at around 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when we have the press conference. So in preparation for CPI and FOMC, generally we tend to see not so much crazy volatility on Tuesday or the day before. Generally, what happens is the market trades a little sideways. So we might see some sideways price action tomorrow. There's a very good chance of that happening, especially since there's not a whole lot of data coming out. Now, for another factor, I just want to call out that as far as earnings go, I just want to mention that there's not really a whole lot going on. We have Oracle on Tuesday, then we have a few more like Dave & Buster's, but it's all very minor, nothing too crazy in my personal opinion. When it comes to the fear and greed index, I just want to call out that right now things are neutral. Things are not too fearful, not too greedy, they're kind of in the middle. And then we also have market momentum, which is greedy right now, so it's still favoring the bulls. But as far as things go, the puts and call option positioning is at greed. There's not much of a shift there. We're still seeing a lot of those a lot of buyers defending their positions. Market volatility is also neutral, kind of in the middle, not really shifting too much. And we also have other factors such as news affecting NIO. So for NIO, they made an announcement that GAC Energy is going to form a collaboration with them. They're going to be sharing their charging facilities with one another through dynamic data sharing, and they're also going to be sharing charging platforms, which is going to be very useful for their customers and such. So that's some good news. And also, we have more good news since Bank of America just raised its stock price target on NIO. Before, they were saying that NIO will likely run to about $5.90. Now they're saying about $6. I know it doesn't sound like much, but considering that we're in the fours right now and we have potential to dip, that's actually going to be quite a big move. That's over a 50% move from $4 flat. I think we're going to get closer to the lower fours if we lose key support. So that's going to be a nice move. So I like to see a nice bounce on NIO later on, especially thanks to their new sub brands like Onvo. So that's going to be awesome news for them, at least moving forward. Volume has been at about 38 million, so a little bit below average. Then we also have short volume kind of going up a bit, so it's shifting somewhat. Nothing too crazy is happening despite that. And then our price price ratio is still kind of down because NIO has a little bit of weakness compared to the market, so there's not much changing there. In terms of seasonality, June tends to be a weak month for NIO. We're only green about 44% of the time, but July tends to be stronger, and we tend to see more volatility on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We actually have a tendency of being green more on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But we'll look for volatility around 1 p.m. and also during the final hour of the day. That's when NIO tends to be the most green. And besides that, that is pretty much it, at least for our data. Now let's talk about NIO stock. What do I see for it in my personal opinion? Unfortunately, guys, NIO is looking more bearish than bullish. That's because we have a cup and handle, inverse cup and handle like structure. So this is like a cup, it's like a handle, so it's inverted. And this could lead to more downside if we lose some key support. If we lose 4.7, there's a risk of us coming all the way down to the 4.2s to fill our gap. If we end up holding support at 4.7, we could try to rebound, but there is a downtrend right here. So we had this higher, we came down, but the lower high, we're continuing to drop. So the trend is more bearish on NIO, and there is a risk of more downside in my personal opinion. So I'll be watching that very carefully just to see how things end up moving, but that's how this is looking to me. Now, with this potentially happening, with this downward trend being established right here, we could see NIO continue to fall. But watch this test of 4.7. If we lose this, we will dip lower. If we hold this, we will rebound to closer to $5. So watch 4.7. If we bounce, 5 is coming. If we fail to bounce, we're going to be dipping lower. And so far, the trend favors the downside more, and this cap fill down here a bit more. Now, for SPY, we're looking more bullish because SPY has managed to actually hold up very, very well. It did dip all the way down to our 20 EMA only to rebound. So tomorrow I wouldn't be surprised if we dip again one more time into the 533s only to rebound higher. And we could actually continue to test the all-time high again. SPY has a tendency of kind of dipping and bouncing, dipping and bouncing. It did this 3 days in a row. So look for a dip tomorrow, then a bounce. And overall, I think we're going to continue to hold up within this range. If we lose 533, watch 531.5. And if we break past 536, look for the all-time high to be tested on 537. So I favor a little dip and a bounce, and this to continue to hold up very well. Nvidia is also looking quite bullish. It did dip today as we predicted, only to get bought back up. And now we're going to be looking for a push back up higher as it's trying to consolidate. Look for a test of 122.5. If we continue to break through that, we could be looking for a bigger move to 124. Overall, I see some consolidation on it, but there is upside potential. Tesla's dipping a bit as we're at this key support. If we lose 173, look for 168. If we hold this, we will rebound to 176 and 180. Overall, it's holding up, so watch and see if we get a bounce here or not. But most likely, it's just going to trade within this range between 173 and 180. So it has to get bought up right here to continue. There's a good chance it will tomorrow. For the QQQ, we're looking pretty strong. We actually dipped down to about the 461s, only to get bought back up. Tomorrow, look for a dip all the way down to the 462.5 to 463 area, only to get bought back up again, continue pushing to 465. I favor upside a bit more. Apple is testing its 4-hour 50 EMA. If we fail to get bought back up above 192.8, we're going to be dipping down to 190. If we bounce and get above 192.8, we could rebound. So I'll be watching this very carefully. Besides that, other stocks such as Amazon are still trying to push for 188. GameStop is looking a little bit more bearish. I think we might come down to fill this gap and then we will bounce. So I'll be looking for a bounce on GameStop very soon. Might dip a little bit more and then try to rebound back up to 28. But it's time for this to continue. AMC is at gap support right now. Around 4.7. Could we dip a little bit more? It is possible we actually continue to fall to 4.5 and then bounce, but I'll be looking for a move back up later on. But that's what I'm seeing, at least for the time being. So for NIO, guys, we'll see how things go. Just know the chart is favoring bears a bit more, but watch 4.7 as support. If we lose that, 4.5 is likely coming or lower, and eventually 4.2. If we bounce off this, $5 will be tested, but I don't favor that. It looks a bit more bearish from a technical standpoint. So we'll see what happens with the data coming out. We'll be very, very open-minded nonetheless. And don't forget that tomorrow, being Tuesday, at 11:30 a.m., we should be expecting some volatility. And on top of that, don't forget that going into Wednesday, when Wednesday starts to come, we're going to see even more volatility because we have very important data coming out. So I can't wait to see what CPI gives us, not to mention the FOMC meeting. And that's that's going to be pivotal for what the market ends up doing. All right. So I want to say I really appreciate every single one of you guys for your kind comments below and for all your views and likes. Thank you all so much, guys. I appreciate all of you guys, and I hope for the best. I'll see you guys tomorrow in less than 24 hours from now for the next upload. Until then, have a great day and peace out.